So welcome everyone to the Therapist Throwdown. This is the second time we're doing this live competition in mental health training. I am Alexander Vaz, and with me is my illustrious co-host Tony Rumenair and his marvelous hat. The goal of the Therapist Throwdown is to demonstrate how deliberate practice, showing your mistakes and getting feedback can be done in a way that's respectful, compassionate, and fun. Previously, courageous trainees from around the world participated in a preliminary round by submitting videos of themselves performing therapy with videos of actors playing mock clients. The top scoring trainees from around the world from that round have advanced to this final round today. Today we also have with us two very special celebrity guest judges that are Dan Sachs and Elizabeth Rosen from the International Deliberate Practice Society. Thank you, judges, for being with us here today, and thank you, contestants, and thank you to everyone else for showing up today. We're going to have some fun, and the Therapist Throwdown is sponsored by psychotherapy.net and the Very Bad Therapy podcast. So let's get ready to rumble. We're going to start with our first contestant, which is Catherine Armstrong. She is a second-year counseling psychology doctoral student at the University of Central Arkansas, whose research interests include examining how training programs foster multicultural competence. She incorporates humanistic and solution-focused therapeutic techniques into counseling. Catherine, thank you for joining us. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to send everyone else, meaning, all the other four contestants to a breakout room. And we're just going to work with Catherine for now. Catherine, you will see one single video prompt, and you'll see 3 skill criteria that you are actually already familiar with. It's the skill criteria for alliance rupture and repairs. In the beginning of the video, there will be the skill criteria. And then by the end of the client prompt, you'll have some time to respond as if you are with a real therapy client. Then we'll have Elizabeth starting off, giving some feedback to your reply, and she will give a score from 1 to 5 to each individual skill criteria. All right. Good luck, Catherine.
This is to ask, but are you interested in me romantically? Last week when I told you about that random guy that I met at a bar, you just asked me a lot of questions about my dating history. Are you interested in me like that?
Thank you for sharing your impressions about what we talked about and for being honest with me. I didn't want to give the impression that I was interested in you romantically. However, I was interested in your dating history so that we could discuss what would work or your experiences with what happened and what you said in the session. I really appreciate you taking that time to be honest with me. And I wonder if there's something that we can do, some things that we can look at together in order to understand or to come to an agreement about where the misimpression came. Oh.
Great. Thank you, Catherine. I'll throw it to Elizabeth now. Elizabeth.
Thank you. Oh, that was so nice to hear. It was a little long answer, and I think skill criteria 1 it was very beautiful, but you took it like twice. It was enough in the beginning. The second skill criteria is really hard, but I think you did it beautifully. And you also invited for getting more information about to invitation to look at this together. So I would give you a 4 on the first one because I thought you took it like twice, and that's not necessary. Second is really hard, so I'll give you a 4 on that one too. I love the invitation in the end, so I'll say that's a 4 as well, because it was mixed with the first one, but really good first round. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Catherine. We're going to move you to a breakout room now. Tony, would you do this to Andrew? Great. Jennifer, you with us?
I am here.
Hi, how are you feeling?
Good. Excited to be here.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. So now we're going to get some feedback from Dan after your performance. So Dan is coming up next. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. So let's
you.
jump in. Good luck.
Thank you.
This is uncomfortable to ask, but are you interested in me romantically? Last week when I told you about that random guy that I met at a bar, you just asked me a lot of questions about my dating history. Are you interested in me like that?
Well, I just first want to, thank you so much for discussing this and bringing this up with me, because, this can be a bit uncomfortable. And I hear that you have some concerns about if I am romantically interested in you. So, I hope if you're okay with it, if we could explore a bit your concerns about my romantic interest in you. And again, I really commend you for bringing this up with us so that we can have the opportunity to explore that further.
All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer. I'm going to pass it over to Dan.
Hi, Jennifer. Firstly, I'll say thank you. That was beautiful. And the first thing I thought this morning was, oh my goodness, thank goodness that I'm not going to need to compete on this one, because it's a really difficult one to deal with. And I think you did a great job. You definitely did all 3 criteria. You showed appreciation. You kind of started and finished with it, which could be repetition, but I think it was nice, like an opening and finish. And you empathized and suggested further exploration. I felt that the appreciation, I think a lot of the stages, too many words, which again makes sense, especially because you're on a stage with people looking at you. But that would be maybe one major thing that would drop some points, just to try and shorten it and not state so many words. I think that would be the main thing. I felt I tried to listen to you as if I was the client, and I felt very comfortable. So appreciation, I think I'd give you a 4, because I think you did a good job there. Empathy, validation, or accountability, it was there. I felt not enough, maybe for the number of words, maybe a 3 there. And explore further, I think you asked an open question, and then when you went back to the empathy, you kind of closed it off a little. Where if you'd left it open, it would have been easier to move straight into a discussion and let her speak more. So I think a 3 there as well. This is a scale of 1 to 5, and I'll say again, this is a really difficult one. So I thought you did really well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dan, and thank you very much, Jennifer. So we're going to throw you again to the breakout room for a little bit. And we're going to continue on with Frances Grace Hart.
Yes.
Hi. All right, so I'm just going to quickly present you. So Frances Grace Hart is an undergraduate student at Boston College who hopes to pursue a PhD in clinical psychology. Her research interests lie broadly in existential psychology, especially suicidality, death anxiety, and meaning making. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
The expert judge that's going to be giving you a little bit of feedback at the end of your performance is Elizabeth. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a small clip of an actor playing a client, and the criteria that you're going to be following are the same 3 criteria for the alliance rupture and repair skill that you have already done in the past, which is also in the chat, but they'll also be on the video at the beginning of the video. And at the end, you'll get some feedback on your performance. Any questions before we move on?
No, thank you.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen and good luck.
This is uncomfortable to ask, but are you interested in me romantically? Last week when I told you about that random guy, you just asked me a lot of questions about my dating history. Are you interested in me like that?
I really appreciate you expressing this to me. I know that this is really uncomfortable and it takes a lot of bravery to, bring these feelings up in this space. And I understand how, sometimes intentions aren't always clear. And so, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have a discussion about this. I really do apologize that, I made you feel uncomfortable. But if you could maybe share some more information about what exactly led to that discomfort, or, what we might be able to do to move forward. I'd definitely be interested in hearing that, because I'm very committed to your healing, but of course, I am not interested in you romantically. And, I'd love for us to move forward together in, repairing some of the trust here. So I just want to thank you again for sharing this with me, and reassure you that, I'm only interested in our professional relationship.
Right. Thank you, Grace. And now I'll throw it back to Elizabeth.
Thanks, Grace, so much. This is really hard stimuli to work on. So I guess I'll start with, I think it's beautiful that you really thank her for bringing this up. So that's a really great beginning, and always something you have to do. So that was beautifully done. In the middle section, I'll say that you kind of apologized a little too many times, and that made me feel a little more anxious than calm down. So I'd say 2 for the second thing. The first one I really liked very much. That was very beautiful, the first one. So that's probably a 4. But the second one is a 2, because it made me more anxious than calm down. I liked also the invitation in the end, but it could have been shorter and not with an apologize in the end again. So the first part of the invitation was really nice, like that you really wanted to know some more so you could move forward together. That was really beautiful, but on the whole, a little too long. So I'll give you a 3 for the last one. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much. And again, great work, Grace. We're going to send you now to the breakout room for a little bit. And we're going to bring back Andy Blythe. Let me know when he's...
All right, Andy is on his way back.
Cool.
And he's back.
Hey, Andy. Hi. How are you feeling?
Good, thank you. Yeah, excited and nervous.
Great. We're very happy to have you. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. So good luck and have fun.
This is uncomfortable to ask, but are you interested in me romantically? Last week when I told you about that random guy that I met at a bar, you just asked me a lot of questions about my dating history. Interested in me like that?
Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Maybe uncomfortable to express your experience. I can understand why you maybe got that impression from the questions I was asking. I wonder if you can say a wee bit more about what came up for you as I was asking those questions, and maybe I can try and explain where I was coming from. How does that sound?
All right. Thank you, Andy. I'm going to throw it to Dan.
Yeah, and I think that was beautiful. I mentioned to the other participants that this is a really difficult one to just be thrown at when you're on a stage with people watching. The pace you used was really nice. You know, it's very easy to speed up when you're under pressure, and just kept it slow, really calm things down. That was amazing. And you managed within just a really brief first sentence to both kind of show the appreciation. It's difficult for her to bring it up, and thank you for bringing it up, and to show empathy and to take accountability. You know, when you say, I can understand how the questions asked may have created this misunderstanding. The suggestion for exploration could have maybe been a tiny bit more open, but it was definitely good enough in the circumstances. And I think that was really good. It made, I mean, if I was listening as a client, I felt really comfortable, and as if you're really open to hearing what I have to say. So I think I'm going to give you a 5 for the appreciation, because I think that was really short and to the point and made me feel comfortable about it. I'm going to give you a 4 for the empathy, validation, or accountability. You addressed the accountability. Maybe there could have been more empathy or validation. I'm not sure, because I might have made it longer. And for the explore further, I'm going to give you a 4 as well, because I think it was good enough and even very good to open a discussion and understand more about the client's feelings. I thought that was really, really good.
All right. Thank you very much, Dan, and thank you very much, Andy. We're going to send you just for a little bit to the breakout room, and we're going to our last contestant, Michaela. Hey, Michaela.
Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you feeling?
Nervous, but good.
We all empathize, and again, thank you so much for being with us. Any questions
Awesome.
before one?
No, sounds good.
All right, cool.
This is uncomfortable to ask, but are you interested in me romantically? Last week when I told you about that random guy that I met at a bar, you just asked me a lot of questions about my dating history. Are you interested in me like that?
Yeah, I first of all want to thank you for bringing that up. I can imagine that being really awkward and hard to bring up as a client. So I really appreciate you bringing that up. And I want to apologize if I in any way made you feel that way, that I was interested in you romantically. And I would love to discuss more about what I said last week that made you feel uncomfortable.
All right. Thank you, Michaela. Throwing it to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you, Michaela. That was beautiful. It was short, concise, and to the point. I love that. Might have a little more of empathy in the voice. Felt a little harsh sometimes, but the straightforwardness I loved. So, and you really appreciated that she brought it up, very clear. So that's absolutely, oh, you don't have half numbers here, like 0.5? No, you don't. Okay, so we'll see. I have to give you a 4. And that's only because of the voice. It's because the words, I really love that. So concise, but a little harsh.
Wait, can I pause you, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Alex, are they not allowed to give halves?
Sure, if they want.
Okay, we invent a half. So 4.5 then. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so a flexible scale. 4.5.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, I mean, accountability, you were really, I mean, you took it on you, like you apologized that you might have asked something that was in a way that could have misunderstanding. So I like that a lot. But I'll still give you a 4 there, because I think there the empathy in the voice was a little missing. And then
Okay.
the invitation was really great as well. Very short, very open. I'd like to discuss this further. So that's also 4.5 for me. So, but thank you so much. Very concise. I really like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
Great. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Elizabeth. And we can bring everyone back, Tony.
All right, everyone is coming back. All right, everyone is back.
All right. Welcome back, Jen. Welcome back, Grace. Welcome back, Andy. Catherine, thank you for waiting a little bit. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you to Elizabeth. Thank you to Dan and everyone here with us. So I have the final scores for everyone. I've been kind of keeping track over here.
While Alex does the math, I just want to jump in and say that I just want to really underline, express some appreciation for the courage that you 5 showed just to show up today and do this live competition. You know, this is the only live competition in mental health training, and it just takes a lot of guts to do this. And that goes on beyond you 5 to all the participants who participated in the first round as well, who made videos of themselves responding to client videos and then sent in the videos to us and got evaluated. We're just so happy with the response. And then a final last word of appreciation for Grace, who is our first ever undergraduate participant. So I'd just like to really congratulate Grace just on being here and to making it to the final round.
So thank you, Tony. And I agree with everything he said. I'm going to put a heart emoji here to go with that. So with no surprises, you guys did so well in the preliminary round. With no surprises, we are under the very interesting situation where all of you scored very highly, and it's a very tight race. And I don't know if you like or know about Alice in Wonderland. There was this sentence in Alice in Wonderland, the dodo bird, that everyone wins and everyone gets prizes. And I'm very happy to say that today everyone wins and everyone gets prizes, because some of you tied together. And so out of our 3 spots, we have 2 people on the 3rd spot, 1 person on the 2nd spot, and 1 person and 2 people on the 1st spot. The bronze medal for 3rd spot goes to Jennifer Gron and Frances Grace Hart. Congratulations to you 2. In 2nd place, we have Catherine Armstrong. And gold medal for 1st place is a tie. So a shared gold medal between Andy Blythe and Michaela Grove. Yay! Just some sound effects. So like in Alice in Wonderland, everyone won and everyone should get prizes. I want to underscore what Tony said. All of you are extremely courageous. I probably would not have had the courage you guys have had. So what you guys are doing is therapy history, to not sound grandiose. So we want to thank you so much again. I want to thank Elizabeth and Dan for their wonderful supportive feedback. And Elizabeth and Dan, do you want to give some kind of final word to our winners today? Which are everyone?
I can just agree. I don't think I dare to do this. Actually, I trained it this morning to the video and I was lousy. You did a really great work. I'm really impressed. Thank you so much. And I feel honored to be here to give you some scores. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to just basically say the same. I was sitting and trying to work out what could be an ideal response and trying again and playing around with it, and I had a lot of time that you didn't. And I think your responses were still better than the ones that I had kind of written out for myself. So you were all really, really good. It was a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah, when just some backstory. So just so everyone knows, the 5 contestants here beat out, we're at the top of a much larger pool of contestants from the first round. And Alex and I were trying to determine what client video to use. And Alex is like, these participants, these contestants did so well. We have to give them a really hard video. Because if we give them an easy video, they're just going to knock it out of the park. So this is like literally one of the hardest videos we could find. And everyone should know the contestants have never seen this video before. So this was like, boom. And it's not easy doing this because you don't know the client, you don't know the context. There's all kinds of things you don't know. And so just, their performance today is really remarkable.
Thank you, everyone. And we'll meet you next time for the next Therapist Throwdown.